Hello. Welcome to another stream here on the Aviator 268. We are sitting in Myrtle Beach as we would have landed here yesterday. And so we're gonna get ourselves ready to get on the way here. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. It is gonna be another hour and a little bit flight. So we're trying to get in and out as soon as possible. So welcome. I know it's a little bit earlier in the day, but we can still make it happen. So we're gonna try to do our best to get this flight underway. So we're just doing the preliminaries right now. So I may be a little bit silent, but I'm just trying to get through as quickly as possible. So stay tuned and we'll be ready shortly. Current weather 330 at 12. Visibility is 10 satellite miles, overcast at 900. Temperature 1, dew point -2, altimeter 3014. Departure today is runway 36. And this is at 1810. Altimeter 3014. All right, we can begin boarding. And I think it's 12475 is the CETA for to 425. 128425.
We are ready for pushback.
450. All right, so that's set. So So we have 135 passengers to board. Flight level 300 today, and the cost index is and always will be 13 for the reserves. 3.9 plus 5, 9, 5, 14, so that's 4.4. And the zero fuel weight is 126.1. Like so, and then we can go to our N1 limit and we can do our departure, departing runway 36, weather, and calculate. So we're using takeoff 1, flap 5, select temp is 44, and that gives us a speed of 138, 139, 144. Take off 144 and flaps 5, 38, 39, 44. Hey, what's going on, Windy Aviation? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Doing a quick short flight down to Orlando. Just getting set up for departure. (357), and we'll go all the way to flight level 300. Like so, and we can turn on the seatbelt signs, and let's get the APU started. Yeah, so because of how far the plane was, it doesn't attach to the aircraft, the jet bridge, so we're not going to see the passengers, but that's okay. They're boarding. They are boarding. Let's see if we go inside here. We should see them. Are we seeing them? No. Okay. So we're not seeing any passengers on this one now, but once we get to, hopefully when we get to Orlando, we'll get to see them. Nevertheless, we press on. Let's get the ACARS started. So that we can get credit for our flights. Umpire Gamer, welcome. How are you doing? Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for joining the stream this evening, or I should say this afternoon, since it's gonna be an early stream. Really happy that you guys would have taken the time out to join. I do appreciate it. So we're gonna get this started as soon as I possibly can. Boarding is still going on with the, let's see, they're still boarding the luggages, so that we can see. But unfortunately, because the jet bridge is not properly connected, passengers are not visible. So we still have a little time. All right, let's go to our legs page, route data, and request the winds. And I can run through the departure briefing really quickly. We don't have any SIDS today on this departure. So leaving out of the airport, we are at Bravo 5. So we're pushing start, make a right C4, then onto Alpha, take Alpha all the way to Alpha 1, then runway 36 for departure. There isn't any threats around at the moment, so once we get to the runway and we are about to spool up, we will pay keen attention that any issues between 0 and 80 knots will stop for anything that will make the aircraft unflyable. Between 80 knots and V1, we'll only stop for any engine fire and any fire warning. Outside of that, above V1, we will continue the departure. Once we get airborne, we will assess the situation. Once we can continue, we continue. If not, we make a left downwind or a right downwind and come back and land on runway 36. ILS 36 is already on call, so if we need to, we can refer to it. The minimum standard, the minimum safe altitude is 2,100, so there isn't anything except for the south of the airport where we have these two antennae, and that will be fine. We're coming in over the water. Aside of that, we have a good ship, so we are good to go for today. Once we get airborne, we will then do the approach. We're heading to Orlando. We have 135 people on board. Today's zero fuel weight is 126.1, which gives us a gross weight of 140.8. And so we have our V speeds available, which are 138, 139, 144, and our trim is 4.5. Our flight time today is 1 hour and 17 minutes. 1 hour and 17 minutes. Yo, what's going on, MSFS? Welcome. 1 hour and 17 minutes, you can get there a little bit faster than that, but 1 hour and 17 minutes is our flight time today at an altitude of 30,000 feet or flight level 300. APU is available. I believe the baggages are now fully loaded, so we are good to go. Welcome guys, welcome. Let's see, 4.5 is our trim, and that is set. And we are ready to go. So we can disconnect the ground power and the air conditioning, but before I do that, yes, my parking brake is set, so we can release that. Let's see what my squawk code is for today. Squawk code today is 4326. 4326. And our departure frequency is 128.445. Cool. So let's go. 1 is 3, 4, 3, 2, 6, and that's set. And we can run the checklist. You don't want to repeat what happened yesterday. I've actually missed a couple of things because I was not running the checklist because I was rushing. So let me run the checklist now before I get myself in trouble again. So before start checklist, flight deck and exterior inspections are complete. Pre-flight procedure is complete. RS mode select is a nav and navigation and display switches are normal and auto. Emergency lights are on. Passenger signs on. Window heats on. Pressurization panel is set. Pressurization mode selector is on auto. Mode control panel is set. 144, 357, and 300. Oxygen mask regulator interphone are checked. Altimeter 3014 and cross checked. Flight navigation instruments are checked. Warning and also the panel check. Anti skid is off. Landing gear down 3 green. Speed brake down detent. Thrust levels are closed. Engine start switches are cut off. Trim stabilizer trim cutoff switches are normal. And fire warning system is checked. Radeon transponder and radar set and checked. Rudder and aileron trim are free and 0. Departure briefing is complete. Flight attendant briefing is complete. Logbook is checked. Fuel is 14.7 on board. 14.7. FMS and 8 cars reinforcement. Interstabilizer trim is 4.5 and that is set. Airspeed is 144 and N1 bugs are cross-checked. So the before start checklist is complete. Let's now go ahead and run the before start flows. Let's request push and start.
Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push is completed and brakes are set.
And let's make a few calls. Remember to be traffic. Good evening, Delta 2496. Push and start from Bravo 5, then taxi runway 36 via Charlie 4 Alpha Alpha 1 hold short 36. Remember to be traffic. Alright, so that's set. They're getting themselves together. I need to release the chocks.
Release parking brakes, please.
Alright. Ooh. Parking brake is released. Start the timer.
Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push is completed.
Oh, that's cool that they have those chocks out there. Alright, so we're gonna start engine 2, then 1. Push and start checklist. Doors closed. Hydraulic panel is set. Fuel panel is set. Flight deck door is closed and locked. Anti-collision lights are on. Air condition panel is now being set. And transponder is set to standby. And let's start engine number 2. Hey, what's going on, Nick and Nate? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Wait until 25% N2, then we introduce fuel. And there we go. We have our wing walkers on the side here. Ah, didn't set Volanta. Let's go. Volanta should be set now. Yes, there we go. Our destination is MCO. Engine 2 is started and just waiting for the cutout switch. Cutout switch is done. Engine number 1, parking brake is set. And that's 23, 4, and 25. It would be nice if they would get the wing walkers to not walk through the air. On an Airbus, it's fine because the Airbus sits really high. But for the 737, I wish they would have it. And it's all coding, so it's just a matter of time. Look at him just walking through the air. I mean, doesn't his head hurt? All right. Engine start 1 and 2 complete. So let's do the after start flows. There is some precipitation and cloud in the air, so we're going to anticipate icing. So we have the Engine anti-ice on. We can probably put on the wing anti-ice as well, because we're just at 1 degree. If it's above 10 degrees, then we wouldn't need to use it. All right, the after start checklist. Generators are on. Probe heat is on. Anti-ice is on. Wing and engine anti-ice. Air conditioning panel is set. Auto brakes is RTO. After start checklist is complete. Let us do the flight controls. Rudder left, rudder right. Do that from the outside. Left and right, then fully back and fully forward. So those are free, and then let's do our flaps and let's listen to those beautiful sounds. All right, let's do our taxi checklist. Taxi checklist, flaps 5, green light. Flight controls are checked. Taxi checklist complete. Nose light going on. And let's release the brakes. This actually looks like a nice picture, doesn't it? Let's get the full airplane in and take a nice little picture. That looks lovely. All right. Parking brake release, and let's begin our taxi. So we're gonna follow Charlie 4. Let's get the map up. Zoom all the way in. So we're gonna take this taxiway, Charlie 4, then to Alpha, then Alpha all the way down. George, welcome, man. Welcome to the stream. It is good to see you. Good to see you. Hit that button. Yes, sir. If you haven't already done so, appreciate you, George. If you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button and also leave a like. We would appreciate it. It would definitely help the channel. Appreciate you guys. Left here on Alpha. Thank you so much, brother. You heading out? It's interesting. I never used to really fully embrace the idea of a safe flight, but yo, with what's going on with the aviation industry right now, safe flight has a different meaning. It carries a totally different meaning. I say, yep, appreciate it. There's so much going on, man. Gotta be praying. If we're praying people, we gotta pray. All right, for our before takeoff checklist, stabilizer trim is 4.5 and that is set. Flaps 5, green light. Windows closed and lock. Auto throttle is armed. 144 is our speed, V2 speed. Recall is checked. Runway is runway 36. Departures, no departure, no standard instrument departure, and our first fix is going to be Charleston VR. And our takeoff briefing has been completed. Just to review, anything below 80 knots we'll stop for close the thrust, call the port. To 8 knots in V1 only for engine fires that will come up on the warning. And the above V1, we will continue to take off, climb 3,000 feet, and we will make an assessment, then make a right downwind if we need to come back around and land on ILS runway 36. We have the ILS chart available, so we will be able to utilize that if we need to. So our takeoff briefing is completed. Flight attendant seats for departure, please. They've been notified. Radar and transponder are set. And the engine start switches are continuous, and we'll wait for the exterior lights once we get to the end of the runway. By the beach traffic, DAL2496, line up runway 36 via Alpha 1. And for anyone who has struggles with the phraseology, do not feel bad. I remember I was flying with a couple other people the other day on another stream, and one of my colleagues was there, and he was a little bit concerned about certain things to say and how to say it. That's okay, we all had to start somewhere. If you are not accustomed to, it just takes practice. So in an uncontrolled environment like this, you're literally just stating what it is that you're gonna do. So just as naturally as you would speak, you just let the people in the area know what your intentions are, and you'll be good to go. All right, so we're lining up runway 36. Let's get our exterior lights.
Approaching 36. On runway 36.
I think I overshot that turn. Gotta remember I'm not flying a 777. All right, let's line her up, and we'll come to a stop. Guys, give me just a moment. Let me get a picture going. Put this picture on Volanta real quick, and then we're gonna be out of here. So I just need a minute and a half, if that long, to update this photo on Volanta. If you are flying on Volanta, you are free to add me. It is Reds Carib 268. That's REDZ Carib 268, and you can see me on there flying out of Myrtle Beach right now. And of course, there's a lovely picture there that we just took just a while ago. All right, so we are ready to go, guys. Let's get our exterior lights going on. This is another nice picture. All right, let's go. Start the timer, pause the music, and let's go. 50%. A little pressure on the stick. Stabilize toga. Myrtle Beach traffic, American correction, DAL2496, take off runway 36, left turn onto departure. Myrtle Beach traffic. 80 knots.
80 knots.
Check. Throttle hold. N1 stabilized. 88.0.
V1.
Rotate. Woo.
Positive rate.
Gear up. Gears up. Lights are off. And we climb and then make a left turn direct to the Charleston VOR. Myrtle Beach traffic, Delta2496 is cleared passing 1,400, climb flight level 300, left turn direct Charleston. Myrtle Beach traffic, last calls here. Alright, Command A, head and select, and we do a VNAV. And passing 3,000 feet, we go left direct to Charleston. Flaps 1. Flaps up. And then we can go direct to Charleston and do LNAV, and the after takeoff checklist. After takeoff checklist, flaps up, no lights, landing gear up and off, anti-ice. We can turn off the engine anti-ice because we're above the clouds now. And the engine bleeds and packs are on an auto. Pressurization panel is set. Engine top switches are continuous till we pass 10,000 feet. And APU is not required. The after takeoff checklist is complete. And this is what we call cloud surfing. It's been quite a week with the southeast, where there's been overcast weather for the past couple of days. So when you're looking over, you can hardly see, you know, these pockets of breaks in the clouds where you can actually see the ground. Passing 10,000 feet, we'll ding the cabin so they know we are above 10,000 and they can begin to do their little thing. (10,000 feet), landing lights coming off, start switches are off, and wing lights coming off. And now we can get back some music. Hope you guys are doing well. Just a couple of reminders of what's happening next week. Next week we have the A350 being released, and that is something we really want to anticipate as we get ready to head to the end of February. Also, PMDG would have said that their 777-200ER is now going into beta. Well, it just entered beta, and so Mr. Randazzo, Uncle Rob, would have said that he's going to anticipate another 7 to 10 days. And so hopefully by next weekend or the other weekend, we can hear when the release date is for the 777-200. 777-200 is going to come with 3 variants, which is the Pratt & Whitney, General Electric, and the Rolls-Royce. Type of person that I am, I prefer to fly the particular airframe depending on the aircraft. So if an airline is going to use, not aircraft, the airline, depending on the airline, if an airline uses a Rolls-Royce, for example, the British Airways, they use both GE and Rolls-Royce. When we are flying them, I don't necessarily want to be flying something that doesn't exist. That's just not me. It's unrealistic. And if we're doing flights and we want to mimic the real world, so it will be really nice to have the 777-200RR and the GE so we can interchange those. The 777-300ER is not a bad aircraft. It's actually pretty nice. It flies pretty well. My preference, however, is the shorter version of the airplane, which would be the 200ER. We probably need to do an LR flight. We have the 777-200LR, the freighter version. We haven't done one of those in a long time, so probably we could do another stream where that is concerned. Nice shiny airplane. I wish the creators would give us a little bit more of the dirty version of the airplane. It's too clean, too clean. You guys hear the change in the engines? Listen. Much quieter on the front. It's another picture right there. So of course, you know we got to take that to Volanta, right? Crossing flight level 180, standard set. Coming to flight level 300. Let's see what our cruise speed is. 0.70. We're going to bump that up to 0.78. The aircraft is telling us we can go all the way up to flight level 8380. But if you were to go up to flight level 380, let me show you what it's going to look like. Alright, let's go to Navigraph and we can look at the weather and we can add some layers, and one of those layers is wind, the jet streams. Yeah, there we go. So this is the jet stream. If we were to go up to flight level 380, we're gonna end up in this strong jet right here, and our speed is not gonna be anywhere where we want it to be. It shouldn't be that bad. Once we get below Igari and we go to Rocco, we could probably step up to probably 340 and continue the rest of the way. But for right now, we're going to maintain 300 and then just increase the speed so that we can actually see how fast we can get. Current arrival time based on where we are right now should be 4:18. Time now is 3:14, so just over an hour left in the flight. Once we get to cruise, we'll see how best we can move that faster. So of course we sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Of course, feel free to share anything in the chat. Feel free to talk with us. I love when we interact with each other, so feel free to chat with me. Any questions you have on aviation, feel free to ask it. We'll definitely try to answer it as far as I can with the little knowledge that I do have about aviation. Fort True, let's see what that says. Fort True, the world's most admired companies is Delta. Okay, very well. So these are sensors, angle of attack, probe heat, and this angle of attack here is what gives us how much we're turning, and we can actually, the aircraft will actually sense if we're going over these two barbs on the horizontal, the HSI. If we're turning and we're banking too much, the aircraft will let us know based on that, and that gives us the angle of attack that we're looking for, or we're looking at rather, so we don't end up flipping the plane over. That would never be a good thing. I remember at some point I was watching TV and we saw just a Learjet or something like that. The pilot would have turned the plane upside down and was flying. Not how airplanes are supposed to fly. We fly right side up. So we don't want to exceed this bank angle beyond 45 degrees, I think it is. And so once we go over 45 degrees, you will hear the aircraft say bank angle, bank angle. That way we don't exceed that and we remain on the right side, which is this way. 1,000 to go. If it wasn't so cloudy, we would have been able to see Charleston Airport because we're passing right over it. But we probably, let's see. We may be able to see it. May. We may be able to see it. We may. All right, so we have flight number 300. Current hour time is 4:19. We're at 0.71. Let's see what our current ground speed is. 334. Let's increase that to 0.78. Execute, and let's see how much more we get with this crosswind from the right side. Slowly going up. 337, and we shaved off just about 4 minutes off of the arrival time. Doing flights in the winter are the worst, especially going westbound. Imagine going from New York to San Francisco. What would take 5 hours ends up being 6, sometimes 7 hours, depending on the jet streams. Ladies and gentlemen from the flight, this is your captain speaking. We are at our cruise altitude of 30,000 feet. Ride should be pretty smooth. However, the seatbelt sign is off. However, if you are in your seats, we advise that you remain seated with your seatbelt comfortably fastened about you. Flight attendants are here for your safety primarily, and we ask that you would comply with whatever instructions they would have given you. If there's anything that you need, please feel free to let them know, and we'll try our very best to get you there in safety and in style. Once we get closer to our descent time, we will give you a shout and let you know what the weather is like down here in Orlando. Until then, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Yeah, George, it is some nasty headwinds going on right about now. 110? Yeah, I would hate to be going westbound. I'm happy. Well, these flights gonna take us all the way up to Minneapolis at some point. But man, at least we're leaving 1 degree weather to, let's see what we have here for the arrival. Yeah, 15 degrees, still kind of cool, but it's not as bad as doing those 1 degree. I would not want to be in New York right about now. So, are there any New Yorkers online? Yeah, more power to y'all. Let me see what New York looks like. JFK is now -1, and you have winds gusting up to 20. So the index, the what it really feels like, the chill index is going to probably be -10 or something like that. Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy with being in the Caribbean, not fighting to come to the States at all. All right, so we're up from 330 to 377. It's probably not going to get any better than that until we go directly southbound. So until we get on the arrival, or probably once we pass Gary. So once we probably pass Gary and heading more towards the south, we'll probably get that more on a direct cross, and then on the tail. So we'll see. Right now, we're getting there at 416. So we're getting there, guys. Let's get the arrival charts ready. We're supposed to be landing at gate 72. All right, so it's not sides 1 and 3, it's going to be 2 and 4. Gate 72 is on airside 4. So we're landing on, I remember that we had an issue with the bridges on runway 35 some time ago. I'm trying to figure out if I should do, let me see if there's an ATC online. If there's no ATC online, I may very well just land on 35 left, which will just make it closer for me. Yeah, so there's no ATC online right now, so we'll probably use 3.5 left. So it just makes it easier for us to do that in terms of taxi. Alright, so our airspeed, our ground speed is increasing. Good sign. I totally forgot to show Charleston when we got over it. My bad, guys. Snowfield 3, and we'll get the ILS 35, right? ILS 35 left. Once we pass BG, I think then we can climb up to flight level 340. Probably not, because we're supposed to cross Leopard between 300 and 3.4. So the most you could probably do is something to 320. Or we can just go ahead and maintain 300. So our speed is back up to 458. That's what we're accustomed to. That is lovely. Arrival time is still 4:15. Top of descent is in 48 nautical miles. So let's begin this brief. All right, so we're on the snowfield pre-arrival into Orlando. We're cross Leopard between 34 and 30. Across Newman above flight level 230, for you 13,000, Nick at above 12,000 in Snowfield. Then GTAL between 12 and 6 at 280. Then Toggle, then Higgs, Higgs at 10 to 12,000. 250 knots, Voss above 8,000. Sunday about 6 and Kubal at 5,210. The runway that we're going to be using is ILS runway 35 left, barring any air traffic control. So there's none, so we can choose what we want. So we have 3035 left. And so for cue ball, we go to Phobok and then Fitem, Spur, then the Amici intersection or in the waypoint or fix. There we go. And we will land on runway 35 left. The current weather in Orlando at time 18:53. Wind 340 at 7, so the winds have toned down just a bit. Visibility is 10 statute miles and the temperature is 15 degrees, altimeter 3011. And so we're using the 36s or the 35s, and we're going to use 35 left. ILS approach, and that ILS frequency is 110.5 with a course of 005. Our decision height is 288, and we have a minimum safe altitude of 3,000 feet. Transition altitude in the United States is 180, and our initial descent is down to 130. Runway 35 left for our arrival. All right, 29 nautical miles, so we're good to go. Once we land in Orlando, our gate is going to be on airside 3, airside 4. So we land and taxi via Hotel 3, take Hotel 3 and come and park right now. Okay, so that's pretty much easy for us. Very, very easy for us. Hotel 3, take Hotel 3, come around and park at gate number 72. In the event of a go around, if we do go around, then we climb the 3,000 feet on a heading 005, and on the outbound VOR, or on the VOR to radio 49 to Oviedo, which is 13 nautical miles from the VOR, and we'll hold there, and then we'll decide how we'll reattempt the approach. Either we do 36 or we do 35 right. All right, if there are no questions on that, our approach briefing is complete. We can now select our initial approach or listen altitude of 13,000, and our altimeter is 3011, and that is set. So in 2 minutes we will descend, and I'm gonna park us right here over the wing so we can hear that. While we wait for that, let's do the performance for runway 35 left. We have 10,000 feet of runway, so we're gonna use auto brake 1, and our speed is going to be 148, 111.15. Did I do that correct? Oh, I have 35 right. What is this, 35 right? Yeah, so let's change this to 35 left. 35 left via full book. Where are we now? So Newman is our next waypoint. There we go. And so our approach 110.15, and that's already there. Ladies and gentlemen, flight, this is your captain speaking. We are just about to start descent. See besides now on weather right now in Orlando, winds coming of the northwest at about 10 miles per hour. Temperature is 15 degrees, and it should be a nice little flight going into Orlando. We should be on the ground in approximately 20 minutes. Flight attendants prepared crabbing for arrival. Once again, thank you for choosing American Delta for your flight. We know you have options of choosing any airline for your trips down to Orlando today. Thank you for choosing Delta. I will see you again on a future flight. Flight attendants prepare for arrival, please. All right, so we do 110.5. That's set, and then 005 on the approach course. India Delta Oscar. Let's see if we can get that in here. India Delta Oscar. Okay. And then we could do 15 and then 7. Good. So 005, 15, 005, 7, and the ORL, VOR, and that will be a heading of 049. So our legs look like this. All right, so if we have to do a missed approach, we have the Orlando VOR 049 heading out to Oviedo. And we set the decision at 288. So we set that here. And that's set. And we're good to go. So we just continue our descent. And we could follow that on the chart. Here we are coming through to Newman, across Newman at about flight level 230. So we're at flight 260 crossing Newman now. Let's see what the CTAF is for Orlando. 124.3. So 120 for 300, and that's set. I have an aircraft flying at the same altitude, 300, for level 24, and they're climbing. They just left Orlando, headed to Fort Drumwheeler in New York. Yeah, 757. I wonder which, if they're using X-Plane. There we have the Floridian coastline. Sometimes I like to take pictures from the flight deck as well, where you get to see some things only from the flight deck. Yeah. Alright, so we continue our descent down to 8,000 now, since that initial descent will be crossed over at 4U. So let's now set 8,000. And that will take us all the way down to Voss. Descent checklist. Altimeters will be coming up shortly. Radio and barrel outbugs are 148 and 30.11, and those are set. Airspeed bugs 148. Appropriation is complete. Auto brakes level 1 selected. Passenger signs are on. Pressurizing panel is set. Exterior lights are checked, and recall is also checked. Descent checklist is complete. Orlando VOR is 112.2. 112.2. So we're about 23 miles out. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Just in time for our landing, now crossing 10,300. So we're gonna take this speed now down to 240. And we will turn on the traffic. Wing lights coming on and the landing lights coming on. All on the traffic delta 2496 heading through 9,700 for 8,000, descend down to 5,000, then make right base to John the localizer runway 35 left Orlando. Continue our descent down to 5,000, and that will be at from down to Kubal. Then we make that right base down. Let's see what Fittim is what, 3,000. All right, so we could descend down to 3,000 and then make that right base. We'd have to go all the way to Forbuck. So broken at 24. $3009. All right, so we're on the downwind now, and we're gonna switch to the CTAF advisory. It's 124.3. Orlando traffic Delta 2496 descending through 7,700 for 5,000. We'll make right base localizer for runway 35 left. Orlando traffic. Let's see, is there anybody in Orlando right now? Yes. There's one departing from Miami. And yeah, so there's one departing from Miami. All right, reduce our speed to 210. And we're gonna pause the music. If you notice a subtle wing bounce going through the clouds, that's normal because, you know, that's definitely how it is in real life. Alright, so let's keep the heading of 185 and we descend down to 3,000 feet using level change. And we'll sort of 200 and give us flaps 1. Love those engine sounds. All right, let's make a right turn now, and we will go direct to FITM, and we'll activate the localizer. Orlando traffic Delta 2496 right base, direct FITM, descend 3,000, join the localizer, runway 35 left, 14 miles from the field. Orlando traffic. I'm trying to figure if I'm on, I know, I guess some, these people are probably not on the frequency. 124.3, yeah, I'm on the right frequency. But they're probably just using 122.8. Oh well. Reduce speed 180. Flaps 2. Localizer should come alive. Glide slope is alive, so let's arm the approach as well. Flaps 5. And once we capture both the glide slope and the localizer, we will bug down to flap 5 speed and extend flaps 10. Localizer is captured. Glide slope just about captured. And let's bug down to glide slope captured. Let's bug down and flaps 10. Gear down. Final approach speed 148. Flaps 20. Flaps 30. Landing checklist. Landing checklist. Landing gear down 3 green. Speed brake. Armed green light. Flaps 30, 30 green light. Engine start switches are continuous. Landing lights on. Get a full head-on shot. There we go. Orlando traffic Delta 2496, 6 mile final, runway 35 left Orlando. Ooh, the wind's battering us right now. Winds are calm, not sure why it's behaving like that. Weather being dynamic, we know anything can happen.
$1,000.
Check. You know what, let's hand fly this.
Approaching minimums.
All right.
Minimums.
Continue. 2 reds, 2 whites. Nice.
100.
Ooh.
50. 30, 20, 10,
touchdown, street break up, 2 in reverse, manual braking, knots.
On, runway 17 right.
Hard under traffic, that's 2496, clear runway 35 left via Hotel 1, taxi via Hotel 3 to the ramp, Delta 2496 to London traffic. So we came further up than we were supposed to, but that's alright. Landing lights can come off. And the strobes can come off. Start switches to normal. And auto brakes can come off. Let's retract the flaps. Radar can come off after landing checklist. Exterior lights are set, engine start switches off, flaps coming up. Tree brake down, detent, radar off, transponder as required. And let's get gate number 72. Whoops. Usually I crash. Thank you so much. Oh wow. Let's see what the landing rate was. The landing rate was minus 142. So not bad. Not bad, pretty smooth landing. So our gate is somewhere over here, so we make the right up here and straight across here. APU is running, so once we get closer we'll put them on the bus and then set parking brakes. And we'll be done for today. Well, we might do a next flight. I'm not sure if I'll stream that one, but we'll probably do a next flight. Let's see what Aviator Geek 268 is doing. Maybe we could probably do a flight with him. He's probably, I think he's doing, oh, he's doing one later this evening. So we may join him tonight. We may. So let's see what happens. Gate 72. Is over here in the corner. Let's see where our, okay, here they are. And we could see it on here. Here we go, gate 72. Landing taxi lights come off, don't want to blind anybody.
and let's see if we can get a nice dance. Right on the money. A little off. And there we go. Parking brake is set. And APU on the buses. And what is he doing? What is he doing? Where are we? We are on. We're not on the line. Let's see what happens. If he only tries to tell us that we're not. What? No, we're not doing that. So we're going to call for our trucks to be put on, and we're going to. All right, so engine off. This is Microsoft 2020. Oh wow. Trucks on, and let's see. He just bowed. Thanks.
Reporting requested.
Should have been a little dance. Come on. You stopped me, man. Right. So yeah, this is 2020. We are not in 2024s yet. 2024 will probably come in another 3-4 months. Want to make sure that a lot of these kinks would have been worked out. So we're still on 2020. And since the 350 and the 757 are coming to 2020 first, well, let's put it this way: the 350 is coming to both 2020 and 2024, but the 757 is coming to 2020 first. So I'm more so waiting for the 2020 version of the 757 to come out first, and then I will do 2024. I know it's a lot of simulator pilots don't play. Yeah, because it's not totally. So even though they have quite a bit of aircraft available for 2024, there's some issues with other aircraft. So for example, we know PMDG, we know the quality that they have. We know Phoenix, we know the quality they have. We know iFly and the quality that they have. Essentially, people want to make sure that they get their money's worth. If I have all these airframes in 2020, why join the 2024? Yes, 2024 is a totally different sim, and that's the thing. When it comes to understanding the two, there's still quite a bit of a difference between 2020 and 2024. So even though they will tell you that things are backwards compatible, not entirely. And that became evident when you started porting a bunch of things over to 2024 and it didn't work. The issues that they had with P3D and 2020 when that switch was done, or when that move was made, the same issues that PMDG had, they're still having. It was only just fixed or updated, quote unquote, air quotes. It was only updated in the last sim update. And so they're working now to see how they can build, but it's a totally different build. So we're just gonna have to wait to see what's going on. And so when we thought that we could just quickly get the aircraft over into 2024, we still have to wait for them to rebuild so that they can be properly done. And again, with all those new features such as tire pressure, aircraft depression on the aircraft weight being seen on the wheels in the sim, all these things are great. I applaud them, and I'm happy to see it. But the only aircraft that you probably will fly and fly flawlessly or next to flawlessly in the 2024 sim is the A350, and they have an advantage, and the advantage is that their airplane is being built on that platform. All others will have to ensure. That is why Phoenix doesn't have the full-blown update for that as yet. iFly doesn't have a. So all those that we know that work in 2020, that are really nice in 2020, we're not seeing them in 2024 as yet because the engine is different. It is very different. So the only aircraft that you can fly and it will work like it should work in 2024 is the A350, because that was built from the onset on 2024 before anybody else. So if you want to go to 2024, just wait until next week Friday, the latest. Wait until next week Friday, the latest, for you to get the A350, and then you can go crazy in the. I mean, I don't. There are the Max is over there in terms of the one that came with the sim. I have seen a couple of pilots, rear-wheel pilots, fly it, and they said that it is okay. It's not great, but it's okay. There is the A330s, which are not bad at all either. See, so that they should have kept the new game in production. No, I wouldn't say that. Oh wow, because the only way they can find certain issues is if they release it, unless they're going to release those SDKs to different people, which is what they didn't do. Then they have to do this. So you have a live alpha, I guess, and it's more than alpha. I'm just saying live alpha in the sense that you get this live version, and then whatever issues that are presented, they'll go back to the drawing board, which is why these updates come so few and far between, because whatever issues they have, they're going to try and fix them and fix the bulk of them before another update. So while I can agree with what you're saying, I can also disagree on the premise that if they didn't release it, then we wouldn't know all these issues would have happened, unless they would have allowed it, like how the A350, the Indie Builds version, where they have been working along with it from the onset. So they would have had the SDK from long ago, so they know how to work around certain things. Plus, if I may also say here, different developers develop their aircrafts differently. So the way PMDG develops their airplane, it's not the same way like Phoenix. It's not the same way like Inibus. It's not the same way like iFly. So a lot of persons who go flying off the handle talking about, oh, they should do this, they should that, I don't join them. It irritates me most times when I see it, because they're not, most of these people who talk, they have zero idea as to how to build an airplane or how to code an airplane, how to code anything, period. But they're flying off at the mouth talking about people should do it. And I can understand genuine and proper criticism. That's not the issue. But some of these folk who are just flying off the handle, just cussing these people out, are just doing so because a particular aircraft is being shaped a particular way over another. And they will tell you they all have different purposes. Aerosoft will tell you the same thing. When Matthias was over at Aerosoft, they said their aircraft is not like Phoenix because they're not doing this whole, what do you call it? These failures, because you don't get those failures every day. So their focus is just to run a day-to-day. So when we had the P3D version of the A330, it was just a day-to-day thing, and I could appreciate that. That's what they did. PMDG may not be in terms of the visuals. So for example, let's look at this real quick. If you go inside of the cabin, this cabin does not look anywhere close to what it can be. It doesn't. But when PMDG was at the top of its game, cabins were not what their focus was on. So when you look at the cabin here and you see it not as, you know, beautiful as you would probably see the A350 or another one, it's not because they can't work on it. They can. It's just not, it's not their focus. And so when people don't want to recognize that, it just annoys me to see that they're just going off at the people and they have zero ideas to how to do things differently. So it is what it is. Hey, what's going on, Kembe? Sorry about that. Didn't say hello to you. Welcome to the stream, bro. I was just telling the folk that I may join you on one of your flights this evening, so look out for that. My engagements that I probably had earlier this evening may have been cancelled, so I may be able to do, yeah, so my engagement was practiced. Was cancelled. Can't even talk right now. Yeah, so I'm actually free for the rest of the evening. So I may do another stream. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, guys, it's something that I try not to engage in, or if I'm going to engage in something. So for example, in terms of what I would critique, when you look at the wing flex for the wing flutter during turbulences in the PMDG versus the iFly, I prefer how the iFly's physics works over Delta, over the PMDG zone. It doesn't say that they're bad, it's just that they could probably work on that physics a bit more, that animation a bit more. They all talk to each other, so I'm pretty sure that they could probably reach out. And I don't know, and I don't even care. It's just a matter that the critique is, I don't like it, it could be worked on, and I leave it right there. If they want to work on it, fine. The rest of the airplane is fine for me. So I'm not going to be out here cussing up a storm and being nasty, because I have zero clue as to what it is to code an airplane of this magnitude to let the airplane work like it's supposed to, and it is what it is. So if people are looking for me to join that bandwagon of going off the deep end, it's not going to be on this channel. I don't believe in doing that. If you have a constructive criticism, we can welcome that, we can talk about it, but we will be respectful to the people who do their craft. It's either you buy it or you don't buy it at the end of the day. That's all it is. So I hope that really answers your question, oh wow, and that you gain a little bit deeper understanding of what's happening between 2020 and 2024. The same thing happened in 2020. So 5 years ago when 2020 came out, or 4 years ago rather, when 2020 came out, the same issues happened. We just had to wait. I actually forsook all of my P3D aircraft, and at that point the 777-200ER for P3D had just come out, and I had to throw it out because my sim went down, and with all the different installations and so on, Microsoft 2020 won me over because everything was in one place. You install it in one folder and you're good to go, versus having to try and find where everything is. Yeah, that used to irritate me. So just as when I got the 777-200, paid $77.72 for it, I didn't get to use it much. So now I have to wait for it, and I'll buy it again because that's my favorite airplane, and I'll show it off. You know, it just is what it is. You either buy it or you don't. So I'm hoping that really sheds some light as to how I think, and I know everybody doesn't think like I do, but I think people should have some common sense, some respect, for lack of a better term, for people and their craft. If you don't like something, yes, you can share, but do it respectfully. That's all we ask. Anyways, guys, we are here in Orlando. It was a nice flight, a nice touchdown as well. And I am grateful that you guys would have taken time out of your busy schedule. I know the stream was earlier, and I'm thankful for you guys who came through. Appreciate you for joining. If you haven't already done so, please ensure that you subscribe and click notification bell so you don't miss the next time that we go live here on Aviator 268. My very good friend, Aviation Geek 268, is doing his stream tonight at 7 o'clock, going from Grand Cayman to Jamaica. Feel free to check him out as well, as you probably do a flight with him just for the fun of it, flying from the Grand Cayman Airport on to I think it's Kingston he's going to. Kimber, if you're still here, just correct me if you're going to, let me check if I don't get to his channel faster. Yes, he is going. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, so his next flight is gonna be from Grand Cayman to Kingston, Jamaica. Oh, he's doing a round trip. All right, cool. Very good. All right. So until next time, guys, thank you so much once again. If you like the content, please consider leaving a like. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and also hit the notification bell. Until next time, you guys take care. Bye-bye.